Hi, my name is Gibson, and I'm the owner and founder of the Personal Development School. This is your daily breakthrough video, and this is a channel where we provide free personal development tips and tools for your subconscious mind. I want to start off by saying thank you for all of the engagement I've been seeing, especially with the fearful avoidant videos and a lot of the attachment style videos. And so as a result of that, I really wanted to break down, based on all these different questions I'm getting, just really break down attachment styles in much greater detail, and the interactions between different attachment styles and the needs each one has, and so sort of in detail how to really work through some of the core wounds that come up, because I'm just seeing how much of a need there is here just between individuals and through different interactions. So today I want to talk a little bit about the dismissive avoidant attachment style and opening up, because I see so many couples and different experiences and interactions where, you know, an anxious attachment style or a secure or even fearful avoidant feels like with their dismissive partner, like they can't get them to open up, or, you know, why are they so closed, or why is it so difficult for them to be vulnerable, or why can I never read them? And I hear these comments all the time, and I really want to give some just authentic and really rooted background for why this is happening and what you can do about it. So first and foremost, I think the dismissive avoidant attachment style is just so misunderstood. Probably the most misunderstood attachment style of all of them. And the reason is because they have such a hard time opening up because they've been through so much emotional neglect at different points in their lives. So this attachment style is for sure the attachment style that goes through the most emotional neglect. You can sort of think of it this way, like the dismissive attachment style gets really very minimal, if any, emotional interaction both ways. The fearful avoidant tends to get emotional interaction one way, like they tend to get presence from caregivers when they are, you know, when the caregivers are in pain, and you know, they just them being there provide some kind of emotional support to the caregiver, or when they have to take care of the caregiver, or there's some kind of one-way interaction there. And with the anxious attachment style, there's usually emotional connection, but it's very incongruent or inconsistent. And so this is really a good thing to sort of keep in mind. So you know, when the dismissive avoidant attachment style is young, their emotions are basically shamed or rejected completely. So they, you know, won't have a parent or parents who are emotionally available. Usually one or both are really, really cold, withdrawn. And so basically there's this massive void of their emotions being met, and yet we're wired to need emotional connection. We are wired for attachment when we come into the world. So this attachment style feels extremely rejected to the point where they kind of just repress their emotions altogether because they've almost just characterized them as unsafe. And it becomes sort of a survival strategy in a way to just deny their emotions and keep them repressed. And, you know, dismissive avoidance can be okay with their needs sometimes, and usually are actually not bad with their boundaries because they've sort of had to survive and cope and figure those parts out. But the emotional components themselves are usually something they're just extremely, extremely far away from. And so they have this fear in general about feeling their own emotions, let alone being vulnerable enough to other people to express their emotions. And you can imagine, like, the thing I think of is, you know, if you've been shocked by something over and over and over again, like literally like a little electric shock, it's as if like this attachment style, when they go to open up or they consider opening up, it's like they go in sort of preparing, like they're waiting for that shock again, and they're going to sort of be, you know, jolted by the pain of you know, being criticized or shamed or rejected again. So any time that they open up emotionally is extraordinarily vulnerable and often feels really unsafe. And so anytime, you know, if a dismissive avoidant opens up about something, if they feel criticized or misunderstood or shamed or anything of that sort, it's, you know, it's going to be really hard for them to want to be vulnerable again for quite some time. It takes them a long time to recover, believe it or not. And it takes them a long time to feel safe opening up again. And they won't show you that. And that's the tough part. It's very rare that they're going to show you that. Why? Because showing would be another expression of emotion to some degree. And so they'll sort of just withdraw, maybe be passive aggressive towards you later, or push you away, or something like that. And they take a good amount of time to truly recover from that shock again that they go through. And you can sort of imagine it to be like, you know, if somebody takes $5 from you and in your bank account you have $7 literally altogether, taking that $5 is like, it's like terrible, it's terrifying, it's so painful. And it's sort of like the dismissive avoidant, when you reject them or criticize them emotionally, it's as if they already don't have a lot of emotional trust and connection or receptivity there. It's as if like any shame or shock to their system, they're already coming from such emotional neglect that they're like running on empty. Their bank accounts like has nothing in it to begin with. So when you do something that causes them pain and takes away more of their emotional trust or trust in the ability to be vulnerable, it's like you leave them with like next to nothing. Versus, maybe a secure attachment style, for example, you can compare it to having like $500,000 laying around. You take $5 from them, it's not a big deal. So, keep in mind that when there's like an infringement or violation to the dismissive avoidance emotions, it's a significant, problem and deal, and they're going to withdraw pretty intensely. So, how do you get the dismissive avoidant to open up, or how do you open up if you are the dismissive avoidant? Number one, dismissive avoidant attachment styles respond to encouragement, to support, to consistency. So if you're consistently validating their emotions, asking them how they feel, holding really supportive space for this attachment style to express their emotions, when they do, like really positively validating them, repeating them back, making sure that they feel heard and understood and nurtured. It's kind of like you're nursing like a dying plant back to life in terms of the dismissive avoidant with the expression of their emotions. And dismissive avoidants can be like wonderful people in so many different ways. And I'm now thinking like I shouldn't have compared this attachment style to a dying plant, but I'm literally just talking about the emotional side of things. Like this aspect of this attachment style, the emotional aspect, has been kind of withering away and in pain. And so you want to just nurture it, and you really have to like feed it and take care of it and support it. And once it grows, dismissive avoidant people can be just the most wonderful partners, because they're really misunderstood for how sensitive they are. They're an extremely sensitive attachment style, and they often get misjudged because they won't show that sensitivity. They withdraw when they start to feel it. They protect it. Because again, they see it as like vulnerability and weakness, not weakness necessarily just from a shaming component, though that can be the case too, but really weakness, like they're about to get hurt again, and they, oh my gosh, here it comes again, and I have to protect. And so you really want to keep in mind, if you are the dismissive avoidant, that you will usually feel really unheard and misunderstood, and usually the ones that are feeling most unheard and misunderstood are also the ones that are hearing and understanding themselves the least. So keep in mind as well that, while it's easy to feel that way around others, it's really important for you as this attachment style, if you're listening to this, to start hearing and understanding your own emotions and feelings. Chances are you've kind of severed a bit of a cord there, and it's really important that you start regaining touch with that. And you can do that through like keeping a feeling journal. You can do that through, writing a list of we actually are going to put a list of emotions on the Personal Development School website. So you can access that, and you sort of highlight which on this, I have this for the classes I teach, a list of all these different emotions, and you can highlight which ones you experience the most. And usually it'll be things like invalidated, misunderstood, what else? Criticized, shamed, disappointed. Like these will be a lot of the sort of feelings this attachment style tends to feel. Get in touch with them. Feel them. What does it feel like to have these experiences? It's not until you feel them that you can actually heal them. As cliche as that sounds, it's the truth. You have to feel in order to process, and you have to process in order not just repress and build up all this emotional stuff over time that will come out in different ways. So it's important to keep that in mind, and get really clear. See if you can be clear about what you're needing from others. And if this is your partner and you're watching this video because your partner is somebody you care about as a dismissive avoidant, ask them for clarity, support. Hey, I want to know how you feel. What are you experiencing? Why do you feel that way? And note that if this isn't an argument or in a fight, we should be having conversations in relationships that are like hey, let's shove away, let's put aside right and wrong, because that's not the concern here. Let's try to understand how each other were feeling in this experience and validate that. And then once we've done that, we can talk about the details of the needs and the boundaries and what wasn't okay and what was. But like, let's start the conversation when we're in an argument or a fight by saying, what are you feeling right now? What are you emotionally experiencing? Like, let's see why these emotions have come up, and let's validate each other's reality so we understand them. And this is something you want to be doing for all attachment styles, in all relationships, but this is a really important thing specifically for the dismissive avoidant as well. So that was a little bit of information about why it's so difficult for them to open up, how to start encouraging them to open up. And if this is you, some things you can start doing, keep track of your feelings, keep track of your needs, understand where some of these pains and experiences are coming from. And you can, with the awareness, you can start to really change. So thank you so much for watching. Please stay connected. I really encourage any comments, any sharing, any questions you have. I'm really trying to make videos and answering all these different questions. And yeah, thank you. Thanks for watching. Have an awesome week.